Singapore is often celebrated for its robust fiscal health, boasting consistent budget surpluses and reserves that reportedly exceed $2 trillion. Yet beneath this impressive financial exterior, many ordinary Singaporeans, especially those in the lower and middle income brackets, are grappling with rising costs in housing, healthcare, and retirement. This paradox raises a fundamental question. If the nation is so wealthy, why do so many citizens feel the pinch? The heart of the matter isn't about demanding more government spending. Instead, it's about asking for a fairer system, one where the government doesn't profit excessively from its own people. This sets the stage for a deeper look into how public funds are managed and why citizens are calling for change. Let's dive into two major pillars of Singapore's social contract: the Central Provident Fund (CPF) and public housing. The CPF is designed to secure retirement, housing, and healthcare, but here's the catch: while the government invests CPF balances for high returns, citizens only receive a fixed, much lower interest rate. This gap acts as an invisible tax on retirement savings, quietly compounding over time. Meanwhile, public housing through the HDB is said to be subsidized, but much of the so-called deficit comes from charging itself market-rate land costs. Since the land is state-owned, this is essentially the government paying itself, resulting in higher flat prices for citizens. The real ask from the public isn't for more handouts, but for the government to stop making so much off these essential services. Singapore's budget surpluses are often understated due to accounting practices. Large transfers to endowment and trust funds are recorded as current expenditures, even though these funds are set aside for future use. International standards like those from the IMF suggest these should not be counted as spending. This means the government's fiscal strength is even greater than it appears. At the same time, billions are locked away in endowment funds, with only investment income or small portions of the principal used for healthcare, education, and social support. While citizens face rising costs, much of this wealth remains idle, growing reserves instead of easing present burdens. The call is for more transparency and a better balance. Resources should be used to support people today, not just save for tomorrow. Singapore's reserves, now over $2 trillion, are among the largest in the world. These reserves have been built through CPF spreads, land sales, understated surpluses, and locked endowment funds. Yet as the nation's wealth grows, so does the gap between the state's resources and the everyday struggles of its people. Civic educator Liang Shihan poses a critical question: how much is enough? Safeguarding the future is important, but not at the expense of today's need. The demand isn't for reckless spending, but for a more balanced approach where reserves serve citizens, not overshadow them. It's about justice, not just numbers, and ensuring that fiscal policy puts people first. Conclusion: Singapore's fiscal model has long prioritized accumulation over redistribution. But as citizens face mounting costs and the state amasses reserves beyond imagination, the call is for a new social contract. This compact would rest on three principles: transparency in reporting surpluses and reserves, fairness in CPF returns and housing prices, and balance between safeguarding the future and supporting citizens today. The vision is not about reckless spending or endless deficits, but about making less money off citizens and putting people at the heart of public finance. By embracing these values, Singapore can ensure its reserves not only secure stability, but also uplift the lives of its people in meaningful ways.